In a place of such immensity, I was drawn to something very small, a rock wren collecting insects for its young. They're one of the smallest birds in New Zealand and one of the more mysterious. It's not known how they survive winters here when thick snow may cover the pass for months. At the pass lunch shelter, the Keas were waiting. They must view human activity up here with some confusion. Every day, close to midday, the people arrive. Some go in one door of the shelter, others go in another. The separation of guided walkers and us independent types is preserved even on top of mountain paths.
It's a bit spartan, isn't it? What's it like next door?
3 earlier shelter buildings have blown off this pass. I think it should qualify as neutral territory. On a day like this, with the humans inside, the Keas received few handouts. They feed mainly on plant material, but are always willing to experiment with new flavours. And I'm not sure who got more fun out of the photographic session. But after lunch, like every day, the Keas watched us leave the shelter and begin our descent.
It's an incredible track over an incredible pass. It is, even in the rain, I could see that it is a most unusual place in the world, where with enormous glaciers on both sides chewed away and chopped these tremendous cirques. It may be paralleled somewhere else, but I doubt it.
We descended from the pass in perfect weather, which brought out many alpine insects. The New Zealand mountains support an array of colourful day-flying moths. They're sun seekers beyond compare. All insects that live in the mountains must take full advantage of its warmth, because it mightn't last very long. In the late afternoon, we were engulfed by a storm of great fury. Te Tautea, or Sutherland Falls, cascades 580 metres in 3 giant leaps.
It's like being a fly directly underneath a cold water tap turned full on. It's just so much power, and I mean the sheer noise apart from anything else. I mean every one of your senses is blown wide apart.
The falls are fed by a large glacial cirque named Lake Quill after its discoverer. Ever since young William Quill scaled up the falls to find their source, climbers have been rewarded and challenged by Fiordland's mountains.
But you don't need to climb to be strongly affected by them. Some walkers are recharged, others are humbled, but most just stand in awe.
Crossing the pass is by no means the end of the walk. On the 4th and final day, the track follows the Arthur River as it hurries to the sea. The walkers too must hurry if they are not to miss the 3 p.m. boat at Track's End.
Oh yeah. This would have been one hell of a landslip here, Connor. But you can see where some of the trees are still stuck onto the cliff up there. And all Fiordland would have been like this after the last glaciation. It'd be just smooth like this.
West of the pass is the wettest region of New Zealand. There were even more ferns, and for the first time, we saw giant tree ferns. Prince of Wales fern also appeared. Ferns brushed our faces. They constantly tapped us on the shoulders and ankles as we hurried on down valley. For most of us, the journey did not include a boat ride. Peter Lewis's boatman on Lake Ada, thought to have been formed by a slip about 600 years ago. Below water, the drowned forest still stands. Long-dead beech trees have been preserved below lake level, and they can pose real problems for inexperienced boaties. The rest of us took the track around the edge of Lake Ada. Journey's End, the sea, was less than 10 kilometres away. Below MacKay Falls, there lies a victim of its immense power. Bell Rock has been hollowed by water to the size of a huge cathedral bell. And having created it, the river has hurled it aside. Near the lake, the track is suspended over wetland, too fragile to withstand 80 pairs of feet daily.
Even where it's quite artificial, like the boardwalk, it's still fitted into the bigger context of a beautiful sort of sculptural manner. But obviously, if you stand back from it, climb away from that line and look from a long distance at it, it's not a big feature in the total framework that you're looking at.
The Milford Track is a line through the wilderness that offers the remote feeling of a truly wild land to walkers without experience and who would normally feel terrified in such a place.
Giant Gate Falls was our last chance to rest. The journey was almost over.
Who knows, perhaps it won't be tomorrow that the light will dawn for Koro. Perhaps it might be when he's my age. But he'll never forget. And this is what these places do to us. They help us not to forget who we are and what we are.
How many Ks left now?
A couple, I think. How you going?
Pretty good so far.
Are you?
Yeah.
You were setting a pretty good pace before. Couldn't keep up with you.
The last day is pretty tough. In some ways, I think it's just as tough as the day over the pass. We covered 18 kilometres on the last day and had to be at Sandfly Point on time.
You feeling buggered?
Yeah, absolutely like it.
Yeah. It must be pretty radically different than the whole Wellington thing.
Auckland, yeah.
Oh, you're from Auckland?
Oh, yeah, from Big Smoke, yeah.
3 days, I still haven't moved there. What do you mean?
Oh, taking cameras on.
I think today has been the most lovely experience